Alright, so this is going to be an interesting EP episode. So this is for an EP called The Compound by a local artist from Denver, Colorado called Mynr Mynr. Now, we just happened to see him the other day after a concert.
After my band played.
And it's really interesting. He's from an interesting genre, which I made up called GDM, which is guitar dance music.
All right.
And
that sounds reasonable.
Yeah. So let's start right at the beginning. He has such a great sound. He's got so much soul. Just like this next song, Soul Out.
Okay. Soul Out. Did you feel it in your soul?
I did. So this kind of music is something that I've unknowingly been searching for my whole life, and now that I have found it, I have entered the promised land of music in such a way. No, Soul Out is awesome. So it starts off. So I will say negative point first off. I don't like this sort of synthy voice.
Oh, I hate that thing.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the sort of synthy voice that sort of is the melodic
riff.
The riff of the intro. And the intro is the only part of this song that's not good.
Yeah, because that section kind of goes on a little bit too long. I feel like
yeah, it's
especially with that
the song.
With the tone of that synthy sound, it gets kind of annoying. Yeah,
it's for 1/3 of the song, and like I said, it's not what a majority of this artist is. The majority of this artist is guitar over EDM-y stuff, and this is kind of just EDM-y stuff, and it's really repetitive, and it's really kind of boring. And I know you're supposed to dance to it, but for me, it was kind of too annoying to dance to.
It did, however, have a nice addition of the piano.
Sweet, jazzy, plinky piano that was awesome, and this sort of piano-y biz. Like I said, once again, this section here, I feel like doesn't describe the majority of the sound of this EP, or of his work. Like I said, we saw him live. And it's really good. But so I feel like after the first third is when you really get into it, because the jazz piano is still there, but it's the counterpart to this sweet, slightly overdriven, slightly fuzzy guitar tone. That's just
the middle section is excellent. The guitar starts off by taking the melody of that. Yeah, so the guitar starts off with that melody, but then it diverges into this sweet guitar solo.
Okay, so yeah, it starts off, and so the song is about 3 different parts, each about 1/3 of the guitar length. The first part is that where the synth voice takes it over, and it's kind of, I guess, introducing you to the rhythm. And the second part is the guitar takes over, and it adds a more like jazzy feel. Like I said, it's sort of got a counterpoint to that jazzy piano, and you really are getting into it. And then the final third, Mynr Mynr just goes all out, and he just pulls off this bluesy shred thing going on. And my only problem is that it gets somewhat cacophonous towards the end, where he does this sort of like chord climb where it goes this climb, and then he gets off time when he's doing this like shreddy biz.
Yeah.
Because I think he was like, this sounds so cool to me that it doesn't quite match, because the way he performs is he has his EDM, he has his like beat pad right there in front of him, his laptop right in front of him. Then he has his orange amp and his Fender Strat, and he just plays against it. And it sounds really, really good and fitting live, whereas I feel like here it's kind of like they kind of don't balance when it gets to
there was a weird little like kind of off time bit that like, whereas is like I could definitely, if I were listening to the solo in isolation, I'd be like, yes, it's so emotional, yes.
And with that orange tone, it was very classic, like
but
rocky.
Then like having a beat underneath that section at least like makes it seem a little like, oh, you're kind of out of time, but all in all, the guitar solo is so great.
Yes, it's so good, and he has so much skill, and it's amazing to see. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. It definitely wasn't Blase, which is the title of our next song.
Blase. How do you feel about this song?
Well said. No, Blase was not Blase at all. Well, granted, I would say it's the lowest energy song on this EP. Which there are only 3 songs, so it's not super long, it's not hard. Oh, by the way, it came out 5 months ago, October 2017. So this song begins, it has guitar right from the off this time.
Yeah, I'd say it started out with the beat and the guitar against each other build a nice tension. Yeah,
because the guitar just these it's just these very sort of like, they're very muted, they're very sort of just like building the tension a lot. This song also is another 3-parter basically is what I would say.
It almost has 4 parts.
Because of the outro sort of section?
No, the middle section kind of has 2 parts.
Okay. So it could almost have 5 parts, judging by the way we're both dividing it in our minds. But yeah, so the beginning is, it's got this sort of like smooth guitar thing, and this is the first song on the EP, well, I think it's the only one that really has a lot of harmony.
Yeah, like I love the guitar harmony there. I'm a huge fan of that in general.
Yeah, so it's one guy, so unless he's using like an octaver or something, then this is mostly just on the EP. I didn't hear it live. He does these beautiful harmonies where the guitars are almost singing against each other. Mm-hmm. And in the intro, it's this very gentle, slow, soft, and then right at the end, it does this sort of like, I would almost call it a soft drop, where it goes, whew.
Yeah. See, I kind of had mixed feelings about that because like I liked the and then I was expecting it to come up with like an almost dubsteppy like some sort of wub.
You said a more EDM style thing.
Yeah, like I was expecting that, and then it was just kind of like a riff.
Yeah, well, it has more of the it takes the little duns and turns them into like chords, and it gives you that, like, the middle section, the first part of the middle section is, you were saying, because there were 2 different ones, the first part is really kind of it's just the rhythm. It's so you can dance to it, so you can get up to it. It's the energized version of the intro. But then the second half, there's this, like, electro keyboard chip. It's a really weird sound, and I honestly don't like it, except in that I would call it lays down the basis of an idea for a rhythm in your head. And that rhythm comes in the last part where he plays a call and response solo. Because the chords go, and then he goes, and he plays the sort of electric guitar version of what that weird electro keyboard thing was playing, but then plays off of it. So it really sounds, like I said, it's this sort of call and response. It's a sort of, if a vocalist was singing, they would be vocalizing whatever his solo is against the chords, and it's just this really sort of funky. The drums are. It's really sort of groovy and fun, and I really, really enjoyed it. So this is all instrumental. I don't know if that's come across.
Yeah.
But, so it's kind of hard to discuss the way the song is set up, because the first 2, at least, are not set up in a very traditional song style. Like I said, there are 3 parts.
Yeah, they're more just kind of like part A, part B, part C, as opposed to a traditional verse-chorus.
And as someone who doesn't know a lot about EDM personally, I don't know if that's a style of EDM music, but this last song, which is called Stay Up, really, in my opinion, goes back to that sort of standard strong structure, and we'll get to it in a second.
Stay Up.
No, so Stay Up. This song was undoubtedly, like, it's amazing. I absolutely love this song to death. And not only because it's a very much more traditional sort of song structure, but because just all around, it's just fantastic. So it starts off with this sort of, like, really smooth, really fast, muted, like, to get you sort of into the rhythm.
Yeah.
And it's really...
Yeah, I said this one also has good tension to it. Like, it, you definitely feel like there's some sort of, like, sports event that's about to start. Like,
yeah, I said when we started this needs to be part of, like, an action scene in a movie, or it needs to be part of, like, some sort of really, really intense, like, racing event, or something, because it's just, this song has so much, like, speed and sass. This song is so sassy, it's so funky, which for just a guy, like, a synth line underneath it, and, like, some synth drums, it's amazing how much of that sort of, like, energetic, sassy, fun tone he can get out of it. It's really, really fun. And then it goes into, like I said, it starts off, it goes sort of intro, chorus, verse, bridge, chorus. So it's very sort of standard. Like, absolutely, like, awesome. So the chorus is very pumped up. There's this synth underneath going, like, and then while the solo is just, like, pulling these, like, sweet, like, sort of slidey bendy things. Sick bends, no. And it's just so amped up.
Like, this chorus will get stuck in your head, even though it's an instrumental song, like...
No, undoubtedly mine. This I would say this song sings. It sings beautifully. It sings in a way that no singer can actually sing, because there's just some guitar techniques. There's muting, and then there's bending, and there's slides. It's so wonderfully full of movement and technique that it will stay in your head all day long, and you won't be able to get out of it. What's interesting is underneath this very sort of smooth, lightly overdriven guitar sound, like I said, this orange amp sort of sound, is this very sort of digitally sort of, like I said, it was almost like a chiptunes heavy bass, sort of going like It was really, really heavy.
Okay.
And it made the whole... It was just a great counterpoint to the really, like, clear tone of the guitar. So it was sweet versus, like, thick. And it was just really, really awesome to listen to. And you get so energized from listening to the song. If it's not obvious, I think this EP is amazing. And I thought he was amazing live. And this is just really good. And you should listen to Mynr Mynr. Like, I don't even know how else to describe it.
Yeah, but this song wasn't wholly great.
Yes.
I would say. There was, like... The verses and the chorus were amazing. Like, the verses gave a good resting bit from the... And each verse was a little different, like, had some little different squeals in it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But then, after the third verse, it kind of drops into this totally nonsensical bridge section that doesn't go with the rest of the song at all.
So I would say, and he actually performed this live while we were there. I was so into it at the time. I was like, this is really unique and interesting. So what he does is the song is written, and most of his songs so far are written, the guitar are very sort of blues pentatonic. It's what he knows, it's what his riffs are, they're very pleasant, they're very good. But during this, he goes into I would call it a neoclassical muted climb shred.
I wouldn't even call it shredding, because it was just kind of... It sounded more like he was practicing his scale.
Yeah, it was like a neoclassical muted scale, while there was the sound of... And like I said, there's a very hip-hop element to this. When he did it live, he took some like very famous hip-hop songs and played over them too, which was really cool. But basically, he plays this sort of muted neoclassical climb and descend over the sound of like a record being spun backwards. So it sounds like, oh, you're rewinding. Which it's a great... Like I said, the record rewinding part, if he went like... If you did something more pentatonic with it, but the fact that it's neoclassical, it stuck out as completely not being in the same key, almost.
It was not in the same key, I felt like, or at least not in the same scale that he's been in for the rest of the song.
And I'm guessing he just wanted to experiment with it and try a different sound, because like I said, we're rewinding now, we're going back, and then it drops straight back into the chorus, which is, like I said, super energized, the bass is
and so you go, thank God.
But it's such a drastic change that the juxtaposition makes the chorus even better, I would say, which is what he was going for. And you just get so pumped. And for the last, like, 10 seconds of this song, all you can do is just, like, you want to dance. It's just GDM. You just want to dance so hard and feel it in your soul. And I just really, really enjoyed this.
I know.
So Stay Up was absolutely my favorite song from this.
I would agree that was my favorite song. Even with the weird bridge.
Yeah, I mean...
Like, I would say that was, like, the down point of the album for me. Or of the EP, I mean.
I can agree with you there.
But the song itself was good enough that it overpowered that. Absolutely.
It's interesting. All these songs are above 4 minutes long, but for me, they only feel like they're 2 minutes long. They feel so short. I would say that I hope he sticks more with the stay-up structure, which, like I said, a very traditional song structure, allows him to play off low energy and high energy moments.
I don't know. I kind of like having different types of structure, too. Like, in shortish songs like these, like, it's okay to just have, like, part A, part B, part C. Although, then you run into the issue possibly getting too repetitive within each part, or not referencing earlier parts enough.
Yeah.
So you have to... There's a balance to be struck there.
But I think one of the best parts about this EP is that each song contains something wholly unique and in and of itself that I really like. Like the first song had the jazzy piano playing. The second song had the guitar harmonies that were really nice. And this song had like the traditional song structure with like a lot of bends and slides and mutes and everything. Each one has its own really unique draw card that I really, really thoroughly enjoyed. And he has a couple more EPs out. You can find him on Spotify. You can find him on SoundCloud. And just absolutely amazing. This guy deserves all the love you can give him. We don't know him personally. Yeah. But
he just happened to play after my band, and he was really good.
And I thoroughly enjoyed it. So please go listen to the Compound EP. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, and he had another EP that came out just a couple days ago.
Called The Sacrifice, I believe it's called. And
we're going to go listen to that.
So, in the end, everyone's a critic, including us. Bye-bye.